Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in absolutely lovely Lauderdale by the Sea again. Beautiful weather out there, and it looks like we got a little warmer day too. 79 degrees already. Man, is our cold weather gone already? I hope not. I was kind of enjoying the last month or two of cooler weather in the 70s. Oh well, if it's back to summer, I'm with it. Hey, let's get into the report today. Gold and silver prices up, dollar screwed. Well, that's kind of like a clickbait dealie, but sorry about that. But it is true. Gold and silver prices are up today, and the dollar is screwed and has been screwed for a long time, since 1971 when Nixon took us off the gold standard and our government just started spending willy-nilly and became extremely fiscally irresponsible, thanks to the help of these people at the Federal Reserve. And there's Janet doing what she does best. She's just cranking out that machine. That looks more like a fishing reel than it does a printing press. But anyways, there's Janet doing what she does best, cranking out the monies. I think she's a very well-intentioned lady, and she's quite bright. She's quite genius, but she comes from that Keynesian kind of monetary background. That's what she believes, that if they produce more money and they print more money, she doesn't have much of a choice. Though, the money that she prints is not backed by anything. She knows that, so really she has to believe that, and they have to keep doing what they're doing, and that is why the world is going to the hell and a handbasket. Besides this reason, we have a government that is just, I don't care which side it is, either red or blue, neither are fiscally responsible. Under the Reds, we a little bit slower as far as the demise of the U.S. dollar, and a little bit smaller spending, but not much. With the new administration in here, all we've got is a massive acceleration of what was going on anyways, which is the decline of the U.S. dollar. I found this cartoon quite entertaining. It's Cartoon Day, by the way. It's funny, but it's really not. As you can see, the lady's giving birth to a little newborn here, and the doctor says, we don't spank them anymore. We just tell them how much they owe the national debt. So that's true, folks, man. I don't think people in government really care if they crash the system down the road. All they're worried about is immediate gratification. But that's what America is all about, immediate gratification. Get rich quick, all that stuff. But that's not us, folks. We're all about wealth preservation, being fiscally responsible, and being able to enjoy your later years with a little bit of money in your pocket, not being broke and having to rely on the government for a check. That's what we're all about. But these people aren't. Not much to talk about in the news today as far as gold goes. I think gold and silver being up is, we're over that little blip from last week. There's still a big shortage on silver going on right now. As far as product goes, there is no 90% U.S. silver coin available, even though I have a little bit. It's expensive as hell to buy. It's crazy. Even silver dollars, pre-1921 U.S. silver dollars, have skyrocketed. They've gone up to over $30 each on the major online sellers' websites. It's just insane. Most of the online sellers, like AppMex, have no product. If you go there, it says out of product, or we'll contact you later or something. Same thing with JM Bullion and SD Bullion. Most of these guys are out of product. And by the way, if I haven't said it enough times, I don't mind bringing up their names because I can beat their prices all the time. And I actually have some product right now where they don't, but I can always beat the prices of the online guys and the local guys. And if you're listening to my videos and you don't live in my area, unfortunately I can't do business with you because I only do business face-to-face right now, in our brick and mortar store in Lauderdale by the Sea. However, if you don't live in my area and you listen to this report, I can't stress enough that it's really important for you to, we'll get to this article in a second, sorry. I can't stress enough that it's really important for you to shop local. I don't care if it's bullion, I don't care if it's coins, I don't care if it's tires, I don't care if it's whatever it is. Get rid of Amazon, get rid of a lot of these online shops, not because they're terrible companies or terrible people, but spending the money local is so huge. I can't tell you how significant that is for people, is to spend their money locally with local merchants, if possible. The smaller the better. Even if you got to pay a little bit more, this strengthens your community. These corporations, there's nothing about strengthening your community whatsoever. In fact, it's quite the opposite. And I'm not talking about online gold and silver sellers. I'm just talking about overall. Spend your money local if you can. That's what I believe. Anyways, boy, God, I got a little distracted on that and went sidetracked. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at Peter Schiff's article right here. I like Peter Schiff, really smart guy. A lot of his articles are spot on. You know, he's one of the few guys that picked the 2008 financial crash, and right before it, he kept saying, "It's going to go, folks. It's going to go." And anyways, let's kind of read what he talks about here. Peter Schiff says, we ended last week with some weaker than expected economic data, particularly the job numbers, but the stock market continues to go up. Of course, we know that. Why does it keep going up? Because where'd she go? There she is right there. That's why the stock market keeps going up, is because she keeps printing money, and it keeps going into the hands of these big corporations. Ultimately, that's where it's going to go. But let's take a look here at the rest of Peter's article. And again, I don't want to get distracted. It's easy for me to do, especially today. I'm busy as hell, by the way. No matter what the data suggests, everyone seems to think that things will come up smelling roses because of the stimulus. Now, this is absolutely true. I don't know. Well, the media is kind of worthless. Media only paints one story. They want to paint a narrative for you. So big corporate media only gives you, oh, the stimulus is going to be good for the economy. It's going to be great for everyone. Oh, bullshit. It's this picture right exactly here. There you go. It might be good for the short term, and it'll be good for these corporations, these crony corporations that are in bed with government. Again, I have nothing against corporations. I've only got issues with corporations that get in bed with governments and make rules that benefit them, like insurance industries and such. I've got big issues with that. That's crony crony capitalism. That's not real capitalism. So yeah, I do have issues with that, and that's who the people in Washington, D.C. and this lady are making richer and richer and richer all the time. The people that are in bed with them, not us. But they'll give you your little $2,000 check or your $1,600 check or whatever it is, and they'll hope that you go blow it in the stock market or something. That way they can scream success about how great the economy is while your neighbor just lost his job. You know what the difference between a recession and depression is? A recession is when your neighbor loses his job, and depression is when you lose your job. So anyway, again, I got sidetracked. Sorry about that. Let's finish Peter's article right here real quick. That's actually a podcast. There's just a few quotes here that I like. Peter said at this point, it doesn't really matter whether the economic data is good, bad, or indifferent. The market just keeps going up. Absolutely true. And this is why I like Peter. He says it like it is. And you won't hear that, again, on CNBC very often. You won't hear that on Bloomberg. You won't hear that in the Wall Street Journal. That's just corporate narrative. They don't give you any alternative opinions, and when they do, they make fun of it or make it look like it's a conspiracy theory. So they're all full of shit. Pardon my language. The Fed could also be considering another round of QE. After all, there will be likely more debt, and this is exactly what's going to happen, folks. If you think that a $2,000 check is going to cure how badly they fucked things up for the last couple years with this coronavirus, and how they closed businesses and how badly they screwed. There's nothing screwed up about the virus per se. It's how they handled it. And they blame Trump, and Trump can blame them or whatever. But the fact is, the whole system fucked up badly, both sides. And the blues just as bad as the reds, and the reds just as bad as the blue. They closed down small mom and pop businesses. They closed down travel. They ruined travel for a virus that kills an extremely small percentage of people. That's just my opinion. It could have been handled so many different ways that wouldn't have destroyed a small business and destroyed the economics in this country and across the world, quite frankly. But they did it. They managed to do it. That's what government does. You hand them a problem, and they'll screw it up badly, and then they'll come back with money in their hands like they're your best friends. We're here to help you. They can go GFY as far as I'm concerned. Boy, I'm a little testy today. Sorry about that. The Fed could also be considering another round of QE after all, and we just talked about that. And what did I just say before I even read this? I think that is what is really driving the stock market. Of course it is. One of the telling economic data points last week was a big drop in productivity. Wages are up, and companies are paying more for workers. That's driving down the overall productivity number. Peter said, this is an indication of building inflationary pressure. So what we could be having is we could have a good scene here where inflation becomes extremely visible for us. I'm not talking about hyperinflation. You better hope that doesn't happen to us here. But it's possible. It's not impossible, put it that way. Anyway, one more quote from Peter, and you can read this article yourself. When you have weaker than expected economic data, that just means the bigger stimulus is coming. And that means more deficits, more bonds being sold, more supply, and that is pushing down bond prices and pushing up bond yields. And of course, course, it means the Federal Reserve is going to be printing more money and creating more inflation. So now the inflationary premiums that get built in the yield curve have to rise rise as well. Oh, and oil's up again. So anyway, what Peter's talking about is inflation is going to start rearing its ugly head here pretty soon. Now, inflation is like a child growing up. If you're like the uncle, it's your niece or nephew, and you only see them once every 6 months, a year. It's like they grow up really quick. It's kind of like going to the grocery store. If you want to go to the grocery store every 6 months to a year, you're really shocked at what the prices are. So inflation is really hard to see if you're around it all the time. But we all know it's happened. I mean, look at what a gasoline costs when you were a kid versus now. Look what Coca-Cola costs versus look what a freaking bottle of water costs. What a ripoff. Excuse me, I'm sorry, but anyways, God, I digress again. Let's talk about what Peter's talking about. But people don't seem to be buying gold. Peter called that ironic. Gold has to claw its way back after a big plunge on Thursday that it took below in $1,800 an ounce. I'm not worried about that. I don't know why Peter's worried about that. I think Peter just thinks that a lot more people should be piling into gold right now. But I don't necessarily believe that. I think a vast majority of people are really not smart when it comes to economics. And I really believe that. I'm not saying America's dumb. The whole world's pretty dumb economically. But I think most Americans across the board, and I'm an American too. It's embarrassing for me a little bit. But I think most Americans are economically clueless. And how do I know this? Well, look who we put in office. We put in office economically clueless people. And if anyone thinks that the red side is any more conservative, no, they're really not. Just a tiny bit more. Both sides are economically clueless. Just look at the mess we're in and how we got here. And how did we get here? We can blame politicians all day long, but really it's our cluelessness that put these clueless people in office. God, I digress again. Anyways, Peter's talking about how great gold is to buy, and of course we all know that. Good article by Peter Schiff. All of this smells like stagflation, and he's absolutely right. I took a look at the zero hedge. By the way, I love zero hedge. Unlike corporate media, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, CNBC, and all those other corporate magazines and dailies, this is like a hub, gives you different opinions. Those other corporate medias, like Wall Street Journal stuff, they tell you what you should think. They hand you one narrative, and that's the way you should think. Occasionally, they'll put in an opposing viewpoint, but they'll make it look like it's a conspiracy theory or kind of like half-hearted laugh at it. So I hate those publications. I really do. Again, they tell you what to think. They don't give you options. One of the things I like about ZH is that it provides all kinds of different viewpoints, and the viewpoints are, they're not from a bunch of crackpots either. You get some very, very smart but opposing viewpoints. And you know what I like is you get to pick your side yourself. You get to pick your narrative. It's not picked for you. Anyways, just going over Z-Hedge, not to look a lot to look at today. By the way, they don't pay me for promoting their site, and the only reason I promote it is because I like the format. I pay $1 a day to get rid of all that annoying advertising, but you can read the exact same articles for free. That's what I respect about this ZH site. Anyway, just running down the ZH site today. Not a lot to talk about, just kind of like political stuff. Here's everything. Boy, I don't even want to talk about that. Impeachments, I'm so over that. Stock rally reverses amid overheating concern as Bitcoin powers towards 50,000. Just a quick note on Bitcoin. When just somebody that's really famous, a person that's influential and famous like Elon Musk can come out and say, well, Bitcoin's great and drop some hints, and the price of Bitcoin just flies through the roof. It's ridiculous. And this is, again, what I'm talking about, most Americans being economically clueless. You don't just buy something because someone said something. If someone says something, you ask them, well, why did you say that? Why do you believe that? You just don't buy it just because they said it. Give me a break, America. That's why we're broke and getting even more broker. Just my opinion. Going down the road here, let's take a look. Is Apple about to announce? Nothing really too much in precious metals to talk about here. I mean, I guess there's a lot of things we could tie into metals here, but not too much. This was kind of scary. IMF wants to use digital footprint of customers' online activities to assess creditworthiness, which means that's kind of like the Chinese, what is that thing they have, the social credit system, where if you're not a good citizen, you can't get on public transportation, you can't do this, you can't travel. It's pretty serious. And by the way, if you don't know much about it, you should look it up. Let's take a look at what's going on with the dollar today. And again, I think this is the primary driver of gold and silver today, why you see gold and silver. And I think mostly gold up, silver following. I think silver is just taking a quick breather and following gold today. Let's take a look, but it is up. Dollar down, and you can see the trend line here over one day. And of course, if we go over here and take a look at gold, gold is up. Look at that, 1847. We're creeping in that 1850 range. I knew we would get back there, and as I've been saying for 6 months, all these down prices have done is provided you with the opportunity to buy the dips. Let's take a look again. Range on gold overnight, 1830 to 1850, about a $20 range, and it looks like silver, 27.27, and not much, about a 50-cent range there. So in silver, and platinum just doing its own thing, and palladium, who cares? Nobody asked about it. What's my opinion? I think we're going to see it slowly creep up, unless you see some temporary dollar strength, which always knocks it down. And you can almost, every morning when you wake up pretty much, and if you see gold down, and you see silver down a little bit, you can almost go to that dollar chart I just showed you, and you will see the dollar chart is up. Follow my cursor, is up like that, and gold is down. So unless we see some dollar strength, which we're going to see happen here, every once in a while. But remember, it's not permanent. The dollar's in the shitter, and it's going to continue to go on the shitter. It'll have its days, though. So whenever you see prices drop a little bit, if the product's available, do buy the dips. That's my opinion. Well, that's really about it. If anything crazy happens today, I'll do another show. If not, I'll pick up tomorrow morning, and we'll continue talking about what we've been talking about. That's really about it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 and 4. And ask us what the best deal of the day is, what the spot prices are. Any questions you have, happy to answer them for you. And thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day, and talk to you soon. Good day.